Boom. Here we go. You're tuned in to Coffee and Chat with Rev Bruce. And this is another Saturday. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. Got everything going on the way it should be going on. And I just want to, hey, let y'all know it's Saturday. I'm excited and I'm ready to roll. And so given that, I got a special guest today, dear friend of mine, Rodericka Gipson. Some folks know her as the Brown Cake Lady. Some folks know her as Mrs. Brown Sugar Customs. But hey, we're gonna get this on here and get it rolling. But before we get all into the fullness of the show and everything with Rose, for y'all that tune into my Bible study in the middle of the week, we got a full year coming up. In the book of Jeremiah. Check that out. 52 chapters over 52 weeks. It's a chapter a week. So get ready for it coming in January. And we'll start at 11 o'clock instead of 12 o'clock coming in January. Don't forget, Ms. Sharifa was on last week. She's got a fundraiser that you can join in on. And it's got a GoFundMe attached to it. Definitely check out what she has going on. But today I got the pleasure of having the Brown Cake Lady, Rodericka, right? I know her as Rose, right? And so this is the lady that, like I said, good friend of mine. Seen her in her transition to ATL and everything, and still this whole movement of her becoming an entrepreneur, not just a custom cake decorator, but also the celebrities that she's able to get in touch with, as well as, you might have seen her on, a little Food Network, holiday baking thing. And so definitely, here we go. We got Rodericka Gipson, Mrs. Brown Sugar Customs. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Bruce?
I'm good.
Good. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah. I'm so glad that we could connect. Part of the whole thing is that I really try to do this so people will be motivated and inspired to chase their dreams and become doers instead of just dreamers. And I mean, I got to give you credit, girl. Shoot, you living a life on Instagram, you know what I mean?
I'm an Instagram celebrity.
Oh my God, And I gotta be honest, I know you can do something with some cake. I know you can do that. My taste buds still recall that, and so I'm not tripping about that. But what really led you to getting into baking overall? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm a sugarhead, so I love cake. So I can't get away from it no matter where I go. So I just started baking for myself, and then people's and sharing, because I like to share. And people started asking for the cake more, started asking me, and then they started saying that they would pay for it if I made it. So of course I was like, ding, ding, ding. Okay. And then I ran into a young lady when I used to work in corporate who used to do custom cakes. And one day I asked her, how much does it cost for a cake like this? And when she told me, I was like, okay, I'm in the wrong business. Yeah. I got to start doing these custom cakes, because if you charging $300, $400, $500 for one cake, yeah, let's get this. So I learned how to, picked up a few tools of the trade, learned how to do some things, and just started trying it out. And I started eventually getting better and better to where I could charge more for my cakes.
Well, that's all right. I mean, that's amazing. And, and I know it's been something like you said, you shared with family and friends, but, in going into the business, I know that price possibility was an eye opener, but what really gave you the confidence to go into opening, Miss Brown Sugar Customs?
I just started having more. I just, my mom, she was always inspiring me. I had a few friends that were like, you can do it. And then, of course, my faith that, obviously I've been blessed with a gift because people have been giving me accolades for what I do. So it kind of helped inspire me more. I know it seems like along the way, the church I attend out here, Peace Baptist, the pastor Barnett, he would seem like he would always have a sermon that kind of applied to my life at the time.
Yeah, they'll
And
do that if you listen to them. They'll do that if you
right.
listen to them.
That's what it was. And I was kind of at a crossroads where, and it was just kind of like, the Lord blesses you with these gifts, but if you don't utilize them to their fullest extent, then, what's the point? Somebody else gonna get the gifts. So I was like, I'm just gonna go. And I've always been this person. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna try and I'm gonna step out there on faith and until that door closes and another door opens. And that has always been my journey. So, I mean, really and truly, it was really my faith that kind of led me to keep going and keep pushing that small little voice that said, you can do it. And I just kept trying. It seemed like I would take a step or a couple steps, maybe a door get closed and another door will open. That door will be something like awesome. And I'm like, okay, this is where I should go. So I stayed prayed up, you know what I mean? And just asked that the Lord bless me, bless my hands, and just open the doors I should walk through. And those doors just so happen to be the doors I'm walking through. So I guess that's just how I ended up where I am. Just keep trying, keep pushing, don't quit. Don't let the naysayers tell you can't do something.
Well, yeah, there's going to be some naysayers. You know what I mean?
So,
And so that I'm so glad that you didn't allow that to detour you and cause you to cave in and say, "Well, I guess they're right," or anything like that.
yeah.
And so to go along with that, you're on this journey, and so for you, what's one thing that you feel sets you apart from other cake designers or decorators?
I think, let's see. I'm really passionate about my cakes. It's very important to me that the cakes taste good as well as look good. And I'm always bigging up every cake. I'm not competitive with other people in that sense. Like I applaud all the other bakers and designers that do the same thing that I do. And it actually inspires me. When I see somebody do great things, it inspires me to do great things. And I like to inspire others to do great things. So I like to, I think I'm a positive person when it comes to that. And I try to, motivate others if I can. And I love to be motivated. So I think maybe the thing that sets me apart, and I'm not, I might get a little bit down because sometimes challenges, bring me down a little bit, but I'm always going to get back up. I'm always going to get back up. So hopefully that's the thing that has catapulted me to where I am now, and maybe been the thing that set me apart from other bakers. If they get discouraged or decide to quit, whereas I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going. I may get a little discouraged and eat a couple pies or something, but then I'll come back and be like, okay, let's get back to it.
So, ain't nothing like a little sugar to make you bounce back, huh?
Every time.
All right.
Every time.
Amen. So, okay. I'm gonna let you have that one. I'm gonna let you have that one. All right. So, I mean, this whole thing with the holiday wars, I mean, and the baking and being on TV, what has that done for your business and your clientele?
I feel like it's made it's broadened my audience. More people are watching me now, whereas before, Maybe some people did see me and say, oh, okay, well, her cakes look pretty, but now it made people recognize like, oh, I guess she does have some skills. It has made people stand up and pay attention to what I'm doing. So, it's been good, but it's also been a little nerve-wracking because I'm like, oh, now everybody's watching. Now I have to really do good. But
A little more pressure. A little more pressure.
Huh?
A little more
Right,
pressure.
the pressure, right? Just a little sweat on my brow. But but it has definitely broadened the horizon and made more people stand up and pay attention to what I'm doing and take note. And actually, it has kind of put me on a different level. And so for me too, it's a lot of times I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm just a baker, I just make cakes, I just design. But then certain things kind of actually make me have to stand up and say, okay girl, you might be doing something. So I think that it has brought more light to me. And I'm always happy to let it be known that I'm Cali bred out of San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
We doing things in Dago too. So
yeah, we still recognize you as a transplant, out there in Atlanta. So we'll still take that, and
Okay,
that's
long as y'all don't write me off. Make sure.
that's a definite, I applaud you for going on there with your team and making an appearance. A lot of people don't make it to that level. They step back from the camera and the exposure, and so God bless you for taking a step out, on
Thank
faith
you.
and moving forward. And so to go along with that, you that puts you at another level. But I have to say, from everything I've seen, everything I've heard, you were already at a pretty high level before because you had a lot of celebrities, maybe I didn't have my glasses on at the time. It looked like you made something for the mayor, of Atlanta, and come on.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
I actually, it was actually for Rashida, and she opened up a bistro, and the
Okay.
mayor came out to support. So she happened to be there, and so that was a really awesome, thing to meet her because she's a real down to earth, and she was very nice. And a lot of times that's what makes it for me. You can meet, some celebrities, but then there's some that just stand out because they're just like talking to normal everyday people. They have good, you can feel, if they have good spirit or, you know, just things about them. And that's what I like about it more so than not just the fact that I'm doing events with celebrities, but those celebrities that touch you still when you meet them, they're not out of reach. They don't
Mm-hmm.
seem their character seems like they're just good-hearted people. I pick up on energy a lot, so a lot of times, I'm always hoping that whoever this event is for is got good energy because then it kind of helps me too, But it's been awesome, and it's Atlanta is like the new Hollywood, so that you
Yeah.
never know who you're going to end up running into. Sometimes these events, I didn't even know certain people were going to be there, or, I remember I was at this one event and Kim Fields was there and she was just like, oh, I didn't realize it was her. She's just like, oh, I love your dress. And I was like, oh, thank you. And I was like, oh, that's Kim Fields. I'm like,
So you didn't recognize Tootie? I mean, come on.
I didn't know it was Tootie. She was next to me and I didn't even know.
Oh, girl, come on now.
Yeah, but I mean, it was just a lot of people there. So, I really didn't know see all the faces. Plus, I didn't have my glasses on because I was trying to look cute. But
Yeah. That's the cost of looking cute, right?
I know, right, Casey? But
So out of all these gigs, right, which of these celebrity cake gigs would you say has been your most memorable as a entrepreneur and not so much a fangirl?
As an entrepreneur and not a fan,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's a tough one. Because a lot of them I was a fan. But uh I I thought that, and I say, I don't know, that's a tough one, Bruce. You threw the monkey wrench in when you said it's not a fan. I think that, and I say this often, I bring up 50 Cent. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason I say that is because initially, like, I knew I was making the cake for him for his event,
Yeah.
but I expected, you have this vision of celebrities, and so I was thinking that he was gonna be like, like, yeah, whatever, all the little people over here and all the big people over here. But he absolutely was not like that, like at all. When he came in, he was very welcoming. He came up and shook everyone's hand. He came up to me and was like, thank you so much for making the cake. And I was like, he seemed like he really was appreciative of it. He was taking pictures of it on his phone. He was like, yeah, let's get a picture. He was telling the photographers to make sure they get a good picture. He was really down to earth. And at the time, Power had just came out. So he was
Mm-hmm.
like, big deal, big
Yeah.
deal. And I at that time, I hadn't even seen Power yet. I was so busy in the cakes, I just hardly ever watched TV. So everybody else was like, oh my God, have you seen the show? It's awesome. And you would never know. He was still just the best. So if I could say, as an entrepreneur, it just left me with, no matter how big you get, no matter how much money or what you're doing, you still treat people as, you would want to be treated. And that's how he made me feel. And that's what I try, my motto, and I try to carry with me wherever I go. Not that I'm big as 50 or anything like that, yet.
Yeah.
But you gotta speak things into existence. But I appreciated that, and it made me view celebrity a little different, because you could be so big. He was the top dog in the room, definitely,
Mm-hmm.
but he just didn't act like that. He was just very humble and very down to earth and appreciative of, how well his product was doing and everything. And it just made me like, because I had a different impression just because I seen him on TV, and he wasn't like that. And I could totally see everybody in the room who was want to do business with him, all the top execs and the money makers that were in that room. I could see them wanting to do business with him because of how he was. And that's something I remember definitely the most. Not just that he was
Yeah.
50 Cent, but I felt drawn. If I had money, I would be like, here, let me invest. You know what I mean? Because of how he was. And so that
Yeah.
left an
Like you
impression.
said, energy to, that you would get this vibe,
Yeah,
from his
right.
presence and everything. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I'm just tripping as a Power fan that you made the cake and hadn't even laid eyes on Ghost yet. I mean, come
No,
on. Wow.
no, I
No
hadn't.
Tasha, no Ghost, none of that. Oh my God.
I
All
didn't
right.
know a thing, not one thing. And then I watched it because people kept, even the valet guy was like, oh my God. He was at the valet stand watching Power while they were
Wow.
getting the cars. And I was like, let me see this show that they're talking about. And when I watched it, I was hooked. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I would have asked him about this. I would have been like that. But
Yeah.
maybe it was better. I could just be cool, calm, and collected. Because if I would have seen the show, I would have been all over the place. Like, oh my God, what about this? Oh, that was so awesome. He probably would have been like,
Yeah.
calm down, shorty, calm down.
So I'll give you your chance now. So if you could say it from a fan perspective, what was the celebrity highlight gig that you had from a fan perspective? Just as a fan.
Yes, my most memorable just happened to be, I just did it. I just did with Big Tigger. It was
Yes.
his birthday, and I just did his birthday cake. Ah, that was like the best because,
5 o'clock in the
we
morning. 5 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah. On the radio, on B103, the radio station out here.
Mm-hmm.
He works for the station, and they did a surprise birthday cakes for him and the other VJ, which was Miss Basketball. So I was called, kind of like on a last minute thing to do a cake for him. So I mean, of course, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, and they were like, oh, just do this. But of course, I couldn't just do like a little simple whatever. I had to, take it up another notch. But when I got there and I, set the cakes up and he came in, I was just like, oh, snap, it's Big T from Rap City. I was like, yeah, because he looked exactly like how he looked back in the day. He hasn't aged like a bit. And, we all watched Rap City. I know I used to watch Rap City, before getting ready for school or after, that was the show.
Yeah.
And all the celebs that came on, it was just, it was like kind of surreal, that I'm like, girl, you up in here with Big Tig, you know what I mean? So,
That you were in the midst of all that.
Yes, that I'm like, this is a legend. He's been around forever. And you're up in here stomping with the big dog. So I was super excited and even more excited because he was very, I could definitely see why he's been on for so long. He's another person that has awesome energy, and he was real personable, and he even got on the little video when I was shooting a video, to say his bit about the cake. So I just loved his energy. He was really cool. Him and Miss Basketball, who she was on too, her energy had me off the chain, just excited, had me bubbling inside. But that was like awesome. That was like a great way to end 2020. And I was really happy to be able to do that. It made me.
And that was an authentic moment via video with both of them.
Yeah.
And that just advertised it in itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the live video that you did on the way there, I was like, hey, I'm trying to make this happen. Stay tuned. I thought that was something because often, we'll get the call and we have to make the choice, of am I going to make this sacrifice?
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of other stuff I could be doing at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Is this going to be the sacrifice that I make? But I tell you, including the feeling that you felt, the Bible says that your gift will make room for you and put you in places that your mouth couldn't get you there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You couldn't talk yourself into getting there. And so, continue to let your gift, make room for you and open doors for you. And it is worth the sacrifice because, I was telling a friend this the other day, a lot of people will give us a chance, but everybody won't give us a chance to succeed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so, definitely this has been, a wide open opportunity. I mean, you had my man Randy Moss on your pictures. I was like, wait a minute, hold up.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
And so the level of access that you're able to have, and then people say, well, hey, wait, you know how we do. Well, I can't have them have a party that top my party. And so people will then say, well, I got to get that lady that had that cake at least, and so go ahead and spread your red velvet all over where you can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so just take it like this. Do you still find people buying cakes?
Yeah.
In whole health conscious, veganism and gluten-free and all this.
Yeah, the funny thing about it is, like out here in Atlanta, I don't really experience that a lot. Now, sometimes people will ask me if I make vegan cakes or if I make gluten-free cakes because, they have gluten allergies. But for the most part, I don't get it as much. as actually in Atlanta, although it's out here, I'm sure. And people will say, oh, if you made vegan cakes, you would make a killing, which I'm sure I probably would. But I don't get it as much. They just want this cake, this regular cake, and they'll take it, But the one thing I did notice is when I was in Cali, I came out to Cali, I was out there visiting my mom, and I decided to sell some cakes. I got that question a lot, way more. Like, they're way more conscientious of things being vegan and what do you put in the cake, and are your eggs cage free and stuff like that. And I was like,
hold on, wait a minute. The eggs,
the chickens, come from chickens that are cage free, roaming, and just stuff. Do you use round eggs or white eggs, stuff like that.
I guess those eggs with cage PTSD are toxic. So I haven't heard that one.
I guess so. We full of toxins out here then, because
I haven't heard that one, but I'll accept it. Somebody,
they asked a lot more questions like that when I was out in Cali. Mm-hmm. So I do understand.
I would imagine, because
it's a culture. I think it's more conscientious of that, which is awesome. It's great. You know what I mean? Definitely. I feel like if I were in Cali, I would have to change up some of my recipes and some things to accommodate those who are, that is their thing. So, but out here, I get it every now and then. I'll get someone that might call me and ask me if I make a vegan cake or if I do gluten-free, but I don't get it a lot. Most of the time, only people, they just want this regular cake. So it has been something I have thought about. But the demand is not as big for those type of cakes as my regular cakes. So it hasn't pushed me to change up my MO just yet. Now I did try to make a German chocolate like that. It was gluten-free German chocolate, but man, it kind of hurt my feelings because it wasn't the same feel. It just looks kind of different. It didn't look like come to me.
Hold on. Now I wasn't gonna get personal, but you can't mess with that German chocolate cake.
I know, right? I can't.
I'll let you play with the lemon and do that with the lemon, but
not the German
chocolate.
Yeah, it did. It wasn't great.
Let me say this to somebody, and I'm gonna be honest. If you have her German chocolate cake, get you either a cold glass of water, right, or milk. Get you a chair with a cushion, and a fork that you can handle without getting carpal tunnel. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna dig in. You know what I mean? And I mean it, because the German chocolate, you can go gluten free on a whole bunch of stuff, but keep that German chocolate cake just as it is. Right.
That's right. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you. Well said. Thank you.
Amen. Like my sister said, don't mess with the chocolate. Right?
Don't do it.
Let that be. And it's your red velvet is like your signature to a degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know that's where folks, even the folks with the sugar come in and say, I want that cake. No matter, and sad, but no matter what that's going to do to me, I want that cake. Right.
Every time it don't matter. They'll tell me too, I got the sugar, I got this, I got that. And I'll be like, maybe you shouldn't eat this. And they'll be like, no, I'll just take one bite and put the rest in the freezer. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But to be real, that it's for you and all the hustle you put into it, all the grind you put into it, the work you put into it. Not just for you, it's not just the baking, but you're also, you're doing the IG live, Facebook live videos, you're creating something that's very visually appealing. And so, you're going to be on Instagram, Pinterest and places like that where people can, pick up the visual. But I gotta say, where does most of your business come from? Is it recommendation from clientele, or is it just recognition of you did a party for so and so?
More so than anything is word of mouth. My business is always taken off because of word of mouth. Even when it first started, like I used to bring cakes to work and let them try it. Then somebody else would come to my desk and be like, "Oh, I heard that, Tiffany was talking about your cake that you had and I didn't get a piece. Can you bring some cake next week?" Or, and then next thing you know, someone called me and be like, "Oh, I was at Michelle's party and I had that cake you made for her 1-year-old and I want to order one for mine." It's always like, or someone, a referral. So like more than anything, my biggest money maker is from everyday people who order cakes for their family or for a party or something, and they enjoyed it. Or a lot of times people say, "Oh, I had an event. I had people come from out of town, and nobody could stop ranting and raving about the cake." So then I'll have somebody from Charleston, somebody from Florida, somebody from New York to call me and ask me if I'm shipping cakes or can I'm gonna be in town again? Can I get another? So it's really word of mouth. So when that has been my biggest money maker. All of my business, as much as I've done celebrity events, as much as I've been in the right places at the right time, even doing the show, my biggest money maker is still from people who have actually tried the cake and told their mother, sister, daughter, uncle, brother, daddy about the cake, and they ordered the cake. And and that's why I always try to stay true to my cakes, because a lot of times people will say, I've even done events where people are like, "Yeah, I wasn't even going to try the cake because it looked too pretty." And usually pretty cakes don't taste good. People say that all the time. If it look good, it don't taste good. But my motto is always, I make cakes that look good and taste as good. And they said it on the radio station too, when they posted it, that this cake looked just as good as it tastes. And I was like, that's my thing, is that, it's important, that it doesn't lose its flavor. But for the most part, it's word of mouth. So if I come out there, Bruce, and do an event for your family and friends, then, your sister, your cousin will try it. And then next thing you know, somebody else, "Oh yeah, I was at Bruce's event, you know what I mean? And I had the cake. I want to order 2 of those, so that's where most of my business comes from. I can't say a lot of it comes from the events that I do for celebrities and so forth. It's more so the everyday people. So I totally, absolutely respect and appreciate my everyday buyers, because you guys are the ones that keep me going and give me the feedback, that I need. Like, "Oh, if you could make it a little more chocolatey," the reason that they, you know what I mean? The reason why, or add a little more icing. The reason why my cakes have gotten to where they're at is because I'm open to, the feedback, and to the people. You're the ones that are eating the cake, and you know what you like. And a lot of the recipes, like the pineapple coconut cake, it was this one gentleman, he came in and his mother had passed. And he was like, "She used to make this cake all the time. And, I wish I could have it." And I'd asked him to describe it to me. And he described it to me, like what it was made up of and everything. And I redid it. And to this day, he comes, and more people have come, and it's like, so this has become a cake because this gentleman, was reminiscing about his mom. And that's the kind of stuff I like. I want to redo something that makes you reminiscent of, family and good times, because that's what cake reminds me of. My mom baked all the time. So that's always that feel good feeling for me. So cake makes me feel good. I want people to feel good too.
All right. So, what do you see for Mrs. Brown Sugar Customs coming in 2021?
Man, I say this all the time. Like, if anyone ever asks me, I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to put a ceiling on where I'm gonna go." So I'm just open to wherever the Lord leads me. I definitely would be open to a show. I don't know what kind of show, how it would come about. I don't know if I would want a traditional like baking show. I might want something a little more, I don't know, a little more 2021, like, cake brown, Miss Brown Sugar going to here, or, different reactions from different people about the cake, or, showing some tidbits. But I would love to do a show. If I could say something, if I would like to do something, I would be open to a show, my own show, some kind of way where I can incorporate friends and family and, kind of something along those lines. But I'm open to anything actually, you know. Yeah, I'm really just open because up to this point, I never could have predicted that I would have done the things that I've done so far. There's no way I would have ever known this. So I'm just trusting that the Lord will continue to, proceed before me and open those doors that are best for me and close the doors that are not. And I'm just gonna try to stay the same row that you've been knowing,
Yeah.
and just keep it pushing. Try to always keep that flavor good and the cake's moist.
So I mean, to go along with that, there have been so many changes with this whole movement for more black writers on TV, more black shows on TV, more of a black presence, and so I would understand you having been on a major holiday network broadcast.
Yeah.
They may still have their eyes on you and
Yeah.
the potential of if not you and you or someone else or a combination of people and the baking or cooking styles of African Americans or something, because that's another audience that I ain't gonna lie. A lot of the stuff on the cooking channel, it's cool to see them sear and do these different things, but most of us don't have a sous chef, and so that's why some of the
Yeah.
old school shows that dealt with the couples making down home meals and things like that. That's why the Pioneer Woman is successful. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so that practical, what can you do in your own home type thing is cool too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
who knows? That might be something. Get your agent to talk to the people, see what they got going on. You know what I'm saying?
I don't have an agent, Bruce. I might have to recruit you. I need an agent.
Yeah.
I need one.
Well, only take 45%. Don't worry about it. No problem.
Oh, dang, boy, you expensive. Whoa.
Just jokes. They're just jokes. Look here.
I'm like, I gotta put shoes on my son.
So before I get you out of here, I just want to ask this for somebody who's out there right now. They might be, struggling, with the idea of stepping out and launching a business. They might be someone who's tried it and not really had that support and success. And so for a person in that position, somebody that's really trying to get out there and make it happen, what type of advice would you give them or encouragement to motivate them to go ahead? What type of advice would you give them today?
Well, first, I would definitely say you have to believe in yourself. Even if no matter what anybody else says, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that your product is good, that despite how many others are out there, that yours is definitely built to turn heads. And you have to, because if you don't believe it, no one else will. And you have to believe it even when no one else does. And it's like, I've been my biggest seller. So when I tell you that these cakes are good and they're the bomb and they're moist and delicious, people believe it and then they want to try it. So you have to be your best salesperson. You have to believe it yourself. And even if I've gone out there and sold like one cake when I made, 20 cakes, that just was a bad night. But guess what? you still have to believe in yourself. You still have to take steps and take advice. I would advise with other bakers or other people who are in your field, and if it's not baking, to find out what they did. I would always ask questions. I was never above that, asking, what did you do? How did you get here? And they a lot of people gave me great advice that I actually did. Sometimes people give you advice and you don't follow it, or you don't try it. Everything's worth a try. And if you don't try, then you'll get the same answer you got if you didn't ask, which was no. But if you ask, at least you got an answer. People will say, get business cards. You need to, start, at putting your pictures and advertising and showing and telling people about your stuff. Just keep putting yourself out there in front of people, and keep doing things, keep going to events. If there's an opportunity, there was opportunities where I had to go, where I had to pay to be there, but I believed in my product. And you have to invest in yourself. So, you have to spend money to get money. And I invested in myself. I invested in the tools that I needed. I invested in, signage and creating my own brand. You have to invest in yourself, and you have to keep going. And don't let one thing get you down. Keep going. Just somebody somewhere, and listen to that small voice. Definitely pray about it, to, make sure that, you're doing, but I think you should walk in your gift. Don't try to get in anybody else's lane. Don't try to, cakes is my thing. And that's what I did until I started doing decorating cakes. And that's what I did. I do some things, I can dibble and dabble, but for the most part, cakes is my lane. And that's where I try to stay. I don't feel, I don't feel threatened by anybody else. Everybody else deserves accolades, just like you want them to give you accolades. So just keep pushing and don't get discouraged. Somebody somewhere will support you. I've been supported by strangers that just saw me and just believed in me, as well as family and friends. But, somebody, even if you don't have the money, there's been times where I didn't have the money to do certain things I want. They're like, oh, it's $1,100 for you to do this. And I'm like, I know there's no way I have $1,100, but I can put that on my vision board or put that on my list and start saving, putting $20 away here and there, and until I get there. You have to plan for certain things, for things to happen. And definitely, if you just stay motivated, keep trying, get up every day, every day. And it's hard work. It's been times where I wanted to quit. This is too hard work. I've been up 24. It's been times I've been up 24 hours, a whole day into the next day. You know what I mean? And I'm still pumping. I'm still going, and I'm tired. I'm like, everybody else is relaxing, sleeping in, doing what they want to do on their weekend. And I'm up, basically slaving behind the stove. But, eventually it gets you somewhere. Somebody's going to stand up and take notice, especially if if you have some things that need tweaking and somebody gives you some advice, take that advice. If someone tells you something about your product that, don't be offended, don't get upset or feel like everybody's hating on you. Just take note, make the tweaks, and then come back stronger and better. And then keep it moving, come out with some things that people, and then stay innovative. Come out with stay abreast of what's new and what's going on, and take your stab at it. Because, somebody somewhere is going to recognize you, and things are going to happen. The more, I can't believe I've been in the game for over 10 years. It seemed like this, but when I was going through it, it seemed like, it didn't seem like it was moving that quickly. But now that I reflect back on it and all the things that I've been through and the places I've driven far, I've to just be a part of an event that I felt like if somebody just saw me or just tasted my cakes, and it did, I may have driven far and spent my own money, gas money and lunch money and everything else, didn't buy myself a new outfit for I don't know how long, investing in myself. And, now I'm at a place where I'm like, okay, I can buy myself an outfit and make cake. So you just have to keep pushing, keep believing in yourself no matter what, and stay in your lane. Pray to the Lord to tell you what your gift is and walk in your gift, because it was given to you for a reason. And if you keep doing it, then people will recognize, I can't say I've done anything extra special than any other baker, that has put me in this position or where I'm at now. All I've done is, just what I felt like the Lord has led me to do. And because of that, I feel like things have happened. People have taken notice because of that, only because I'm just walking in my gift, and that's it. So just stay motivated, all the time, stay motivated. You got to believe in yourself ultimately. Believe in yourself, trust in yourself, and don't worry about what other people do. Do your best, always. Always try to do your best, because somebody's going to see it. Somebody's going to stand up and take notice. And that's what I would say.
Amen. I mean, that was full, and I thank you for it. It's like I said, I want to recognize you as a female entrepreneur that, and me too. I didn't realize it had been 10 years. It just
Over 10 years.
That's a that the time alone is an investment. You know what I mean? And to recognize that in what you're doing. Dude in college, a roommate of mine told me this when he changed majors. He said, "Why would I get up in the morning and go do something I'm gonna hate doing 10 years down the road?" You know what I mean? I want to be able to get up and go and do what I like and love, and so why not start preparing for that now? You know? And
for sure.
God bless him. It's a different mindset to say, maybe I can do what I love and what I'm gifted in, and be able to have that be enough to provide for me.
It will provide, like you said, it'll make a place for you. It definitely will. People change majors and change jobs. Don't be scared if that's what you are led to do and you feel like that's your passion. Don't feel like, oh, I've been in this career for 20 years. It would make no sense for me to give up on this. I was in accounting, in payroll, you know what I mean? For, all this time in corporate benefits, all of that, you know what I mean? But I don't like it. I don't like it. It's just was a means to pay the bills, and we all got to pay bills. And it's scary to step away from security. But when you think about it, is it really security? Can they just cut you off right away if they want to? This quarantine and the coronavirus has shown a lot of people that, things could change at the drop of a hat, and you could lose all the money that you thought you were making. So, for something that, you don't even love, you don't even want to do it. You know what I mean? It's like, why not do something you're passionate about? But it takes sacrifice for sure. And it's not easy, but you'll wake up one day and be like, oh, look, okay, look, this did work out. People will be provided to you to give you funding you need, or even, heck, even when I opened my bakery, there's so many things in order for you to get a building, that all the licensing and all the fees you have to pay and everything. But half of the battle was cut out for us because another young lady who had the bakery, she had a bakery and she was trying to bow out of the bakery, and she just wanted to get out, and she wanted to just hand it down to somebody else. And it just so happened, it happened to be us. What are the odds of that? I didn't have to go through all I had to do was just come up with the money to put down and make sure we passed
just to pick up where she left off.
Just to pick up where she left off. Pick up the
So you didn't have to do any of the initial clearing and all that other stuff?
Well, no. The only thing we had to do was make sure I had the money to put down. And then, of course, we had to pass our credit check and everything. You know what I mean? Got to have some decent credit. Can't be a felon and all that other stuff. But, I mean, I probably could have been a felon. I don't know. But, I mean, just all the hoops and stuff that you normally have to jump through, we didn't have to do any of that. We just had to. They approved us for the bakery, and we had to have the money. There was the credit check that they did. And, normally that's not how it works. You got to go to the banks. You got to do all kinds of other stuff. You got to get all these licenses, all this stuff. We didn't have to do any of that. Now tell me that ain't how God works.
I'm,
Now
I'm about to say, who said you ain't in the right business?
things like that are the things that the signs that you look for when you feel
Yeah.
like you don't want to quit. I was not thinking about a bakery or a standalone because it just seemed like it was just way too, there's no way I can't afford this. You know what I mean? Paying $4,000 a month for rent. My regular rent is not that much. You know what I mean? And that's a
Yeah.
struggle. So that just seemed like beyond, something that could be done. But things started falling, presented, you know what I mean? The doors open. It's like, who am I not? And I'm the one, I'm gonna walk through the door. If the door opens, whether or not I know I can do it or not, my faith won't let me not walk through that door. And that's how you should be, but those are things that I mean, like signs that tell you, like you should be
Yeah.
doing this.
Confirmation.
Yes,
It
absolutely.
just confirms,
Yeah.
and that confirmation in itself then gives you more confidence, when something else
Yeah.
comes along.
Exactly. Exactly. So go for it. If I hadn't put one foot in front of the other, I would have never known about that. If we had not questioned or asked about the bakery to begin with, we would not know. You know what I mean? So all things,
Yeah.
no question is too crazy. No dream is too high. And if you step forward, I'm a firm believer in that. When you move, God moves. And you show him that you have the faith and that you are ready to do the thing that he has placed in your heart, he will open the doors. The sea will part. And that's where I feel like that has happened with me. Is just like, I can't say that that I'm the one that did this, or because I this, that, and the
Yeah.
other. Half the stuff I'm caught off guard. Like, I can't believe it happened either. I can't believe I got a bakery. I can't believe I did celebrity events for this or that person. I can't believe it my own self, but it happened. And, like I said, some people are like, oh, she's just not saying, this. No, it's not that. It's just, you will be placed before the right people when in the right timing. Just keep pushing, keep doing, working hard, do your best.
Yeah.
Always do your best.
Yeah.
Somebody's going
Yeah. That's amazing. And that the reality of it is that people hear you right now and say, well, wait a minute, is that right? And it is. That
right.
they used to say in church, danger seen and unseen. But if it works that way for danger, it also works that way for opportunity. And so you have to be careful not to be blind to what's right in front of your face,
Yeah.
and oblivious to it. It's right there, and you're like, oh, and thank God that you even asked,
Yeah.
because those that don't ask, those that don't look for it, if you're looking for nothing, guess what? You'll never discover anything.
Yeah. For
So,
sure.
thank God for sharing that and helping somebody to keep their eyes open. You know what? Hey,
Yeah.
this is definitely now I'm gonna ask this because we're in COVID. Are you shipping cakes?
I hadn't been because the shipping hasn't been, let's just say if it's supposed to take 2 days,
Mm-hmm.
it hasn't really been 2 days. The people have been if they get it, like my mom is the trial tester. So if I send her something and she doesn't get it on time, then I'm like, okay, but I can't rely. I haven't been because I want a product I can stand behind. And I want to, if I say it's going to get there in 2 days, I need it to get there in 2 days.
Yeah.
So I haven't been able to really rely on it like I really would have wanted to. And then still, like you said, the cost, sometimes it could end up being more than the cake. Although some people are like, I don't care, which, is, I feel like, thank you for that. But I think I want the cakes to get there in a certain amount of time, you know what I mean, to
Yeah.
retain its freshness, I should say. So no, I haven't been. I have been doing cakes in a jar, which are the smaller, mason jar like type cakes, and that works a little better. It maintains its freshness better, but my cakes are moist, so they last a long time. But still, yeah, so they probably last longer than most, but I still want them to get there within a certain amount of time.
So
So yeah.
I mean, that's great. I'm just making sure before
Yeah.
somebody, try to hit you on the hotline and get
Yeah,
the.
you never know. I'm open to, we'll see how things turn out. Hopefully things are getting better, with the whole COVID and everything, but I'm still maintaining, with the mask and, making sure everything is sanitary and clean, and making sure, everything is everything that it should be. But I'll be glad when we get past this season.
Amen. All right. Well, hey, I want to thank you for coming on. This is it's been a pleasure to talk to you about it. And somebody needed to hear not just your voice, but what you had to say, and part of your experience. And so, trust God today. Bless
Yeah.
you for being open and vulnerable. I know somebody I will definitely put you in touch with, and definitely out there in the Georgia region, Reverend Russell, he been blowing up the Facebook chat about everything you said. So maybe he'll go ahead and wrap them ribs up and get them off the rack and put a price tag on them for some of these folks that he's been sharing.
Yeah, do it, Rev, do it.
So,
It.
God bless you. God bless your family. I know
Thank
you're
you.
doing this as a mother, and trying to um, work within these times. And so God bless you and
Thank you.
everything that you're doing. And trust and believe this is just the entryway for what you got going on. And so God
Thank
has more for you.
you.
All
Thank
right.
you so much, Bruce. I really appreciate you even wanting to have me on your show. It's a blessing. You've always been the bestest from ever ago. We go way back. And
Yeah.
you've always been the same. You've always had a good word. And I'm also sending you blessings for your show and your word to reach those who it really needs to reach, who need you in these times.
All right. Well, bless you. All right. Hey, y'all. This has been, Coffee and Chat with Rev Bruce. We're getting out of here. You know what? It's the holidays. Check out what she got going on with Mrs. Brown Sugar Customs. Maybe you can get something in before that diet kicks in the first of the year or whatever, But
Yeah.
you know, it's all right. It's all right. And
Yes.
trust it.
Love yourself. Love yourself. It's okay. Love yourself. Eat the cake. Eat
Support,
the cake, anime.
support. So yes, anime. Eat the cake. Eat the cake, anime.